Welcome, fellow travelers of Middle-earth, to another exciting episode of Realms Revealed. In this video, we unravel the symbolism and significance behind Sauron's appearance, uncovering the secrets hidden within his dark and foreboding form. Whether you're a seasoned scholar of Middle-earth or a newcomer to Tolkien's works, this journey promises to captivate and intrigue, offering new insights into one of literature's most iconic villains. Subscribe now to Realms Revealed and join us as we reveal the enigma in Tolkien's timeless tales. Prepare to be enthralled as we unveil the true face of the Dark Lord and explore the depths of his menacing presence in the pages of Tolkien's epic saga. Sauron's shapeshifting abilities, as depicted in the Silmarillion, are a testament to his formidable power and cunning. This aspect of his character is showcased prominently during his encounter with Huan, the Hound of Valinor, where he attempts to evade capture by assuming various forms. This episode not only highlights Sauron's mastery of deception, but also serves as a crucial demonstration of the limitations of his shape-shifting abilities. In the Silmarillion, Huan, the faithful hound of the Valar, is tasked with confronting Sauron, who has taken the form of a werewolf. Despite his formidable powers, Huan proves to be a match for him, engaging in a fierce battle that culminates in his defeat. However, rather than accepting defeat, he attempts to elude capture by shifting his form, transforming first into a serpent and then into a monstrous creature of his own design. Despite his efforts, he is ultimately unable to escape Huan's grasp, showcasing the limitations of his shape-shifting abilities in the face of the hound's unwavering determination. Throughout the encounter with Huan, he demonstrates his mastery of deception by assuming various forms in an attempt to evade capture. His ability to shift seamlessly between different shapes highlights his cunning and resourcefulness, as well as his willingness to adapt to changing circumstances in order to achieve his goals. However, despite his best efforts, he's ultimately unable to outwit Huan, underscoring the inherent limitations of his shape-shifting abilities when faced with a determined adversary. Beyond his encounter with Huan, his shape-shifting abilities are also evident in his interactions with others throughout Tolkien's legendarium. As a master of deception, he is known to assume different forms in order to manipulate and corrupt those around him. Whether appearing as a fair and noble figure or a terrifying and monstrous creature, his ability to shapeshift allows him to tailor his approach to suit the situation, ensnaring his enemies in webs of deceit and betrayal. His shifting abilities, as depicted in the Silmarillion, are a testament to his formidable power and cunning. His encounter with Huan the Hound of Valinor showcases both his mastery of deception and the limitations of his shape-shifting abilities when faced with a determined adversary. Throughout Tolkien's legendarium, his shifting prowess serves as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the consequences of succumbing to darkness. Myron's origin and appearance. Myron, originally known as Sauron, emerges from the annals of Tolkien's mythology as a figure shrouded in mystery, yet tinged with potential greatness. His original name, Myron, carries with it connotations of admiration and reverence, hinting at a character whose destiny is intertwined with notions of excellence and distinction. Myron's association with Ole the Smith, one of the Valar and a master craftsman, further adds to his mystique, suggesting a connection to the realms of craftsmanship and creation. In Tolkien's mythology, Ole is known as the Vala of craftsmanship and the creator of the dwarves. His association with Myron hints at the latter's potential as a skilled artisan and craftsman, suggesting that he may have been tutored by Ole in the ways of craftsmanship and creation. This association also underscores the theme of transformation and renewal, as Ole is known for his ability to shape and mold the world according to his will. Despite the lack of detailed descriptions in Tolkien's texts, artistic impressions of Myron often depict him as a figure of striking presence and commanding stature. Based on textual evidence and the broader themes of Tolkien's mythology, Myron's appearance can be inferred to be imposing yet noble, with features that reflect his association with craftsmanship and creation. His masculine form and association with Ole suggest a figure of strength and resilience, with a demeanor that exudes confidence and authority. Artistic depictions of Myron often emphasize his regal bearing and noble demeanor, with strands of crimson cascading like rivers of flame, a reflection of his essence in hues of passion and power. His appearance is further embellished with symbols of craftsmanship and creation, such as intricate jewelry and ornate clothing, which serve to highlight his connection to Aule and the realms of craftsmanship. Yet despite his outward appearance of strength and power, there is a vulnerability to Myron, a longing for order and purpose that hints at the inner conflict that rages within him. It is this duality, the struggle between light and darkness, that lies at the heart of Myron's character, driving his actions and shaping the course of his destiny. Myron's origin and appearance serve as a tantalizing glimpse into the early days of his journey, a time marked by ambition, longing, and the allure of power. Though shrouded in mystery, his association with all and his commanding presence hint at the potential for greatness that would ultimately be corrupted by darkness. Myron's transformation into Sauron, the Dark Lord, is a pivotal moment in Tolkien's mythology, marking the culmination of a journey from potential greatness to unbridled darkness. This transformation is spurred by Myron's seduction by Melkor, the original Dark Lord, whose promises of power and ambition lead him down a path of corruption and despair. Myron's seduction by Melkor is a gradual process, fueled by the latter's cunning and manipulation. As a figure of potential greatness, Myron is drawn to the allure of power and ambition, seeing in Melkor a path to fulfill his deepest desires. Yet as he becomes increasingly entangled in Melkor's web of deceit, Myron's true nature begins to unravel, revealing a darkness within him that he had not known existed. During this time, Myron embraces the mantle of Sauron, meaning the abominable, bestowed upon him by the elves. Renouncing his former identity, he becomes Melkor's paramount lieutenant, wielding his newfound authority with cruelty and malice. This transformation marks the beginning of his descent into darkness, as he becomes increasingly consumed by his lust for power and domination. He assumes various guises to further his goals, chief among them being his appearance as Annatar, the Lord of Gifts during the Second Age. In this form, he presents himself as a fair and noble figure, masking his true intentions behind a facade of benevolence and generosity. He uses his charm and charisma to deceive the elves, enticing them with promises of power and wisdom. His guise as Annatar is emblematic of his mastery of deception and manipulation. He preys upon the vulnerabilities of others, exploiting their desires and fears to further his ends. Yet despite his outward appearance of benevolence, there is a darkness lurking beneath the surface, a darkness that hints at the true nature of Sauron and the depths of his corruption. Myron's transformation into Sauron is a testament to the seductive power of darkness and the dangers of unchecked ambition. His seduction by Melkor and subsequent embrace of evil mark the beginning of a journey into darkness from which there can be no return. His initial appearance as Annatar, the Lord of Gifts, serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers of deception and manipulation, as well as the importance of remaining vigilant in the face of temptation. Sauron's evolving forms. Sauron's transformations throughout the ages are a testament to the complexity of his character and the depths of his corruption. From a fair guise to a terrifying Dark Lord, his evolving forms mirror the progression of his inner darkness and power, serving as visual representations of his descent into evil. During the Second Age, he assumes the guise of Annatar, the Lord of Gifts, as he seeks to deceive the elves and ensnare them in his dark schemes. In this form, he presents himself as fair and noble, masking his true intentions behind a facade of benevolence and generosity. Yet beneath the surface, there is a darkness lurking, a darkness that hints at the true nature of Sauron and the depths of his corruption. As Annatar, his appearance reflects his mastery of deception and manipulation. He preys upon the vulnerabilities of others, exploiting their desires and fears to further his ends. His fair guise serves as a stark contrast to the darkness that lies within him, underscoring the dual nature of his character and the extent to which he will go to achieve his goals. However, as the Second Age progresses, his true nature begins to reveal itself, and he sheds his fair guise in favor of a more terrifying form. This transformation marks the beginning of his descent into darkness, as he embraces his role as the Dark Lord and seeks to dominate all of Middle-earth. In his Dark Lord form, his appearance reflects the depths of his corruption and the extent of his power. His towering figure is shrouded in shadow, with features twisted and contorted by malice and hatred. His maimed hand bears the scar of Vil's blade, a constant reminder of his defeat and humiliation. Yet, despite his physical deformities, there is a terrifying presence to Sauron, a presence that instills fear and despair in all who oppose him. His form serves as a visual representation of his inner darkness and power, reflecting the extent to which he has been consumed by evil. His appearance is a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the consequences of succumbing to darkness. It is a stark contrast to his fair guise as Annatar, highlighting the extent of his transformation and the depths of his corruption. His evolving forms throughout the ages serve as visual representations of his descent into darkness and the progression of his inner darkness and power. From a fair guise to a terrifying dark lord, his transformations mirror the depths of his corruption and the extent to which he will go to achieve his goals. His appearance serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the consequences of succumbing to darkness. Defeat and return. His defeat in the War of the Last Alliance marked a turning point in the history of Middle-earth, yet it also foreshadowed his eventual return and resurgence in power. The culmination of millennia of conflict, the War of the Last Alliance, pitted the forces of elves and men against the Dark Lord and his legions in a battle for the fate of Middle-earth. During the war, his forces suffered a devastating defeat at the hands of the combined armies of elves and men. Despite his formidable power and mastery of dark sorcery, he was ultimately unable to withstand the might of his adversaries. In a climactic showdown, he was confronted by Elendil, High King of Gondor, and Gil-galad, High King of the Noldor, who together waged a fierce battle against the Dark Lord. Sauron was defeated, his physical form vanquished, and his armies scattered. Yet even in defeat, the malevolent spirit endured, biding its time until the opportunity for resurgence presented itself. Following his defeat in the War of the Last Alliance, he retreated to the fortress of Dol Guldur in southern Mirkwood, where he assumed the guise of the Necromancer. In this form, he sought to rebuild his strength and gather his forces in preparation for his eventual return to power. Though his physical manifestation was temporary and incomplete, his influence spread like a shadow, casting a pall over the lands of Middle-earth. His return as the Necromancer marked the beginning of a new era of darkness and despair. From his stronghold in Dol Guldur, he orchestrated his plans with cunning and patience, manipulating events from afar and sowing discord among his enemies. Though his physical form was diminished, his will remained strong, and his influence continued to grow. Yet even as he plotted his return to power, his dominion over Middle-earth was not absolute. The forces of good remained vigilant, and whispers of his true identity began to spread among the wise and powerful. In time, his presence in Dol Guldur would draw the attention of the White Council, who would eventually launch an assault on the fortress in an effort to drive out the Necromancer. Despite his best efforts to conceal his true nature, his identity was eventually revealed, and he was forced to abandon Dol Guldur and retreat to the dark fortress of Barad-dûr in Mordor. There, he would rebuild his strength and forge new alliances, laying the groundwork for his eventual return to power and the unleashing of his dark armies upon Middle-earth once more. His defeat in the War of the Last Alliance marked the beginning of a new chapter in the history of Middle-earth, one characterized by his eventual return and resurgence in power. Though temporarily vanquished, the Dark Lord's malevolent spirit endured, biding its time until the opportunity for resurgence presented itself. His retreat to Dol Guldur as the Necromancer marked the beginning of his efforts to rebuild his strength and gather his forces, while his subsequent return to Mordor signaled the beginning of a new era of darkness and despair. Sauron's true form. His final appearance in the books is a chilling depiction of his true form, a towering and shadowy figure, shrouded in darkness and emanating an aura of malevolence. His physical manifestation bears the scars of his defeat, most notably a missing finger where the One Ring once rested, marking the moment of his downfall. In Tolkien's mythology, his true form is described as a dark and imposing figure, with features twisted and contorted by malice and hatred. His towering stature and shadowy presence instill fear and despair in all who behold him, reflecting the extent of his corruption and the depths of his power. Despite his physical deformities, there is a terrifying presence to Sauron, an aura of darkness that permeates the air around him and casts a pall over the lands of Middle-earth. The symbolism of his missing finger is a powerful reminder of his defeat and the consequences of his hubris. Once adorned with the One Ring, the finger serves as a constant reminder of the moment when his power was broken and his plans were thwarted. It is a physical manifestation of his failure, a visible reminder of the limits of his power and the inevitability of his eventual downfall. Yet, even in defeat, his malevolent spirit endures, and his influence continues to linger over Middle-earth. The Eye of Sauron, a symbol of his watchful gaze and unfathomable malice, serves as a window to his malevolent soul, a manifestation of his will and desire to dominate all who oppose him. It is a symbol of fear and oppression, casting a shadow over the lands of Middle-earth and instilling terror in the hearts of his enemies. The Eye of Sauron plays a central role in Tolkien's mythology, serving as a visual representation of his presence and power. It is depicted as a fiery eye, wreathed in flames and piercing the darkness with its malevolent gaze. From atop the dark tower of Barad-dûr, the eye surveys the lands of Middle-earth, ever watchful for any who would dare to oppose its master. Yet despite its fearsome appearance, the Eye of Sauron is ultimately a symbol of vulnerability, a weakness to be exploited by those who would seek to challenge his dominion. It is through the destruction of the One Ring, and with it the Eye of Sauron, that the Dark Lord is ultimately defeated, bringing an end to his reign of terror and restoring peace to Middle-earth. His true form is a chilling depiction of darkness and despair, with his towering figure and shadowy presence instilling fear in all who behold him. His missing finger serves as a reminder of his defeat and the consequences of his hubris, while the Eye of Sauron symbolizes his watchful gaze and unfathomable malice. Yet, despite his power and influence, he is ultimately defeated, bringing an end to his reign of terror and restoring peace to Middle-earth. In the vast and intricate world of J.R.R. Tolkien's mythology, he emerges as a formidable antagonist, embodying the essence of darkness and corruption. His journey from the promising figure of Myron to the towering and malevolent Dark Lord is a testament to the seductive allure of power and the consequences of unchecked ambition. Throughout his existence, he demonstrates mastery over shape-shifting, manipulation, and dark sorcery, yet he is ultimately unable to evade defeat in the War of the Last Alliance. His retreat and subsequent return as the Necromancer marked the beginning of a new era of darkness, culminating in his final manifestation as a terrifying figure shrouded in shadow. However, even in defeat, there is hope. Through the destruction of the One Ring and the Eye of Sauron, the Dark Lord is ultimately vanquished, bringing an end to his reign of terror and restoring peace to Middle-earth. His story serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the dangers of succumbing to darkness and the enduring power of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. His true form serves as a chilling reminder of the triumph of light over shadow and the importance of remaining vigilant against the forces of darkness. As Middle-earth moves forward into a new age, the memory of Sauron stands as a testament to the enduring legacy of courage and fellowship in the fight for a brighter tomorrow. The fall of Sauron. Despite his overwhelming power and cunning, Sauron's reign of terror ultimately comes to an end in a climactic showdown that pits the forces of light against the forces of darkness. In this section, we recount the events leading up to the final confrontation between Sauron and his enemies, from the gathering of the Free Peoples to the epic battles that decide the fate of Middle-earth. As Sauron's armies gather in Mordor, the Free Peoples of Middle-earth unite in defiance of the Dark Lord, marshaling their forces for a final showdown that will decide the fate of the world. From the halls of Minas Tirith to the plains of the Pelennor Fields, they stand firm against the tide of darkness that threatens to engulf them, rallying together in a desperate bid to overthrow the Dark Lord once and for all. But Sauron is not easily defeated. From his dark tower of Barad-dûr, he marshals his legions for a final assault on the Free Peoples, unleashing his full fury upon them in a bid to crush their resistance once and for all. Yet, even as his forces lay siege to the city of Gondor, the Free Peoples stand firm, refusing to yield to the overwhelming might of the Dark Lord. It is Frodo Baggins and the Fellowship of the Ring who deliver the final blow to Sauron's power. With the aid of the valiant men of the West, they storm the gates of Mordor and confront the Dark Lord in a final showdown that will decide the fate of Middle-earth. And in the fiery depths of Mount Doom, they destroy the One Ring, shattering Sauron's power and bringing an end to his reign of terror once and for all. Sauron's influence on Middle-earth. Detailing the impact of Sauron's presence on the cultures and peoples of Middle-earth is crucial to understanding the depth of his manipulation and corruption. Sauron's influence has shaped the course of history, leading to wars, conflicts, and the rise of dark cults and tyrants. His malevolent presence has cast a shadow over the land, corrupting the hearts and minds of those who come into contact with him. From the forging of the Rings of Power to the rise of the Dark Tower of Barad-dûr, Sauron's influence has left an indelible mark on the history of Middle-earth, shaping the destinies of nations and individuals alike. Throughout the ages, Sauron's malevolent influence has spread like a dark stain across the tapestry of Middle-earth, leaving destruction and despair in its wake. From the early days of Arda, when he served as Morgoth's lieutenant in the First Age, to his rise to power in the Second and Third Ages, Sauron's presence has been felt far and wide. One of the most significant ways in which Sauron has shaped the course of history is through his manipulation of the Rings of Power. In his quest for dominion over Middle-earth, Sauron deceived the elves and dwarves into forging the rings, knowing full well that they would ultimately be used to ensnare their wearers in his thrall. The forging of the One Ring, in particular, was a masterstroke of deception, allowing Sauron to exert control over the wearers of the other rings and bend them to his will. But Sauron's influence extends far beyond his manipulation of the rings. Throughout the ages, he has sown discord and strife among the free peoples of Middle-earth, driving them to war against one another in his quest for domination. His agents and minions, from the fearsome Nazgûl to the vile orcs, have spread fear and despair wherever they go, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. In addition to his direct influence on the peoples of Middle-earth, Sauron's presence has also given rise to dark cults and tyrants who seek to emulate his power and authority. From the cult of Morgoth in the First Age to the rise of the Witch King of Angmar in the Third Age, Sauron's malevolent influence has inspired countless individuals to commit acts of unspeakable evil in his name. But despite the darkness that surrounds him, there is still hope. Throughout the ages, the free peoples of Middle-earth have stood firm against the tide of darkness, rallying together in the face of overwhelming odds to resist Sauron's tyranny. From the last alliance of elves and men to the Fellowship of the Ring, they have fought valiantly against the forces of evil, proving that even in the darkest of times, hope remains. Sauron's relationship with Morgoth. Exploring the complex dynamic between Sauron and Morgoth provides insight into the depths of Sauron's allegiance and the origins of his own ambitions. As Morgoth's lieutenant, Sauron was deeply influenced by his master's teachings and ambitions, shaping his own path towards darkness and domination. Their relationship was one of mentorship and subservience, with Sauron learning from Morgoth's example and seeking to emulate his power and authority. Morgoth, the original Dark Lord, instilled in Sauron a thirst for dominion over Middle-earth and a desire to subjugate all who opposed him. Yet while Sauron shared Morgoth's desire for dominion over Middle-earth, he also harbored ambitions and motivations unique to himself. Unlike Morgoth, who sought to dominate through sheer force and destruction, Sauron favored subtler tactics, such as manipulation and deception, to achieve his goals. This contrast in methods highlights the nuanced nature of their relationship and the distinctiveness of Sauron's character. While Morgoth ruled through fear and intimidation, Sauron wielded influence through cunning and guile, using his mastery of deception to sow discord and strife among his enemies. Despite their differences, Sauron remained loyal to Morgoth until the bitter end. Even after Morgoth's defeat and banishment from the world, Sauron continued to carry out his master's will, seeking to fulfill the vision of domination and control that Morgoth had instilled in him. Sauron's mastery of dark sorcery, Sauron's proficiency in dark magic and sorcery, is a testament to his formidable intellect and mastery of the arcane arts. Throughout the ages, he has wielded his magical abilities with devastating effect, using spells, enchantments, and curses to further his own ends and subjugate his enemies. One of the most iconic displays of Sauron's magical prowess is his creation of the One Ring. Crafted in the fires of Mount Doom, the ring is imbued with Sauron's own dark magic, allowing him to exert control over the wearers of the other rings of power and bend them to his will. With the ring in his possession, Sauron becomes nearly invincible, wielding power beyond imagining and striking fear into the hearts of all who oppose him. But the One Ring is not the only manifestation of Sauron's magical abilities. Throughout his reign of terror, he has employed a wide array of spells and enchantments to further his goals and manipulate his enemies. From the dark sorceries used to corrupt the Nazgûl to the foul incantations that animate his legions of orcs, Sauron's magic knows no bounds. Yet for all his power, Saurons' mastery of dark sorcery is not without its limitations. Like all practitioners of magic, he is bound by the laws of the natural world, and his abilities can be thwarted by those who possess the knowledge and skill to resist them. Indeed, it is the courage and resilience of the free peoples of Middle-earth that ultimately prove to be Sauron's undoing, as they stand firm against his dark sorceries and defy his will. It is not Sauron's magical abilities that ensure his victory, but rather his mastery of manipulation and deception. By sowing discord and strife among his enemies, he is able to weaken their resolve and turn them against one another, paving the way for his ultimate triumph. Yet even as his power wanes and his fortress falls, the memory of Sauron's dark sorceries lives on, a reminder of the dangers of dabbling in forces beyond mortal comprehension. Saurons Legacy. The defeat of Sauron, the Dark Lord, marked a pivotal moment in the history of Middle-earth, ushering in an era of both peace and renewal, yet leaving behind scars and challenges for its inhabitants to overcome. With the destruction of the One Ring and the downfall of Sauron, the forces of darkness were vanquished and the threat of his tyranny was eradicated. Middle-earth experienced a newfound sense of freedom and liberation as the shadow of his dominion lifted from the land. The peoples of Middle-earth, from the hobbits of the Shire to the elves of Lothlorien, rejoiced in their newfound peace, celebrating the victory that had been won at great cost. Yet, despite the euphoria of victory, the defeat of Sauron left behind scars that would not easily heal. The lands of Middle-earth bore the physical and emotional scars of centuries of conflict and war, with cities and kingdoms ravaged by the Dark Lord's armies. The loss of life was staggering, with countless souls lost to the horrors of battle and the cruelty of Sauron's minions. Moreover, the defeat of Sauron left a power vacuum in Middle-earth, as rival factions vied for control in the aftermath of his downfall. The absence of Sauron's iron grip on the land opened the door for new conflicts and struggles for power, as ambitious warlords and would-be tyrants sought to fill the void left by the Dark Lord's demise. In the absence of a common enemy, old rivalries and grievances resurfaced, threatening to plunge Middle-earth once more into chaos and strife. Yet amidst the challenges and uncertainties of the post-Sauron era, there was also hope. The defeat of Sauron had shown that even the darkest of tyrants could be overthrown, and that the peoples of Middle-earth were capable of great courage and resilience in the face of adversity. The victory over Sauron served as a beacon of hope for all who had suffered under his rule, inspiring them to rebuild their shattered lives and forge a new future for themselves and their descendants. Sauron's role in prophecy. Sauron's connection to prophecies and fate in Tolkien's mythology is a complex and intriguing aspect of his character. Throughout the legendarium, his actions are often intertwined with prophecies and foretellings, shaping the course of events in ways both expected and unexpected. One of the most significant prophecies related to Sauron is the prophecy of the downfall of Numenor, the great island kingdom of men. According to legend, Sauron, disguised as a trusted advisor to the king of Numenor, corrupted the hearts of its people, leading them to rebel against the Valar and defy the ban on sailing into the Undying Lands. As punishment for their hubris, the Valar unleashed a cataclysm that resulted in the destruction of Numenor and the downfall of its civilization. His role in this prophecy is central, as his deceit and manipulation ultimately lead to the fulfillment of its dire consequences. However, while Sauron's actions may seem to align with certain prophecies, there are also instances where he defies fate and exercises free will. For example, his decision to create the One Ring and pour his own power into it, thereby making himself vulnerable to its destruction, is a choice that goes against the expectations of prophecy. Similarly, his defeat at the hands of the free peoples of Middle-earth, while foretold in prophecy, is also the result of their own courage and determination to resist his tyranny. As the Dark Lord's armies crumble and his fortress falls, the free peoples of Middle-earth emerge victorious, their courage and resilience shining bright in the face of overwhelming darkness. Though the road ahead may be long and fraught with peril, they stand united in their determination to rebuild and restore peace to their war-torn world. And as the sun rises on a new era of hope and prosperity, the memory of Sauron fades into legend, a cautionary tale of the dangers of succumbing to darkness and the enduring power of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. Thank you for delving into the depths of Sauron's appearance in the books with us on Realms Revealed. From his shape-shifting prowess to his chilling true form, we've uncovered the layers of darkness that shroud the Dark Lord. As we conclude this exploration, we invite you to ponder the significance of his presence in Tolkien's mythology and the enduring impact of his malevolent influence on Middle-earth. Stay tuned for more captivating insights into the realms of fantasy and beyond. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Realms Revealed for future content. Until next time, may the light of knowledge guide you through the shadows of lore. This is Realms Revealed, bidding you farewell.